Welcome to the Spotlight Series. I'm your host, Scott Nerney. Don't forget to like this post, click on it if it's on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, pass it around to 10 friends and then 3 people you're not so friendly with, because we want everybody to know what's going on, especially with great guests like tonight. Bernadette Conte and Tom De Nucci. How are you guys?
Great.
Doing terrific.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Bernadette?
You start us off, Bernadette.
Well, I've written 3 books, and one of them in particular, Evviva Maria, Madonna della Civita. It's the history of the Italian immigrants, of Itri and the Madonna della Civita, and the Italian immigrants that settled in Knightsville. So in 1975, when my pastor asked me to research the history of St. Mary's Church, I never dreamed that today I would be planning to do a film, a documentary with Tom De Nucci, of all people.
Hello, my name is Tom De Nucci. I'm excited to be working with Bernadette. This story is really cool. You know, it's kind of funny. They say the Lord works in mysterious ways. This is a project that came to me initially, and I was really tied up. I was filming one movie, and I was about to go directly into another movie. And then, of course, I'm sure you've seen in the news, there's a big writer's strike and actor's strike going on right now. And suddenly, I had all this time on my hands. So Bernadette and I got together, and we started chatting, and I was available to write this really exciting story based off of Bernadette's books. The main book in particular, which she just spoke about. But it's been a really cool, informative story for me as an Italian American myself. We're talking about Knightsville, which, if you're from Rhode Island, everybody knows that's a really predominantly Italian American little neighborhood right in Cranston, Rhode Island, very close to St. Mary's Church, kind of in the heart of that St. Mary's Church area. And this story is all about really what that represents to the people of that neighborhood, what St. Mary's Church represents. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people attend the St. Mary's feast in the summer. You know, it's a very exciting week of entertainment right in the heart of Knightsville. But I think there's a lot of people, as the generations go by and as time goes by, that they don't necessarily realize what that festival's truly all about, the history behind it all, the miracles that have kind of come about. So what we wanted to do, and what Bernadette's books do in such a well way, is Bernadette's books just kind of nail what it's like experiencing the St. Mary's Festival, the history of St. Mary's, the history of the Italian-American immigrants from Itri that moved to Cranston. And we wanted to kind of take that book and put it on the screen and get those stories preserved forever.
So Tom, tell us a couple of other things that people would know you from.
I just directed a movie called Johnny and Clyde, which starred Megan Fox. I did a movie called The Collective, which just came out recently in August, which starred Don Johnson, Tyrese Gibson, Ruby Rose. I made a movie, this is kind of my closest Rhode Island connection. I made a movie, a 1970s period piece called Vault, which was about the bonded vault heist, which took place here in Rhode Island.
Very popular.
Yes, I've always kind of loved that story. So getting to tell that story in movie form was really special for me. This isn't the first time I've told a Rhode Island story, so I'm excited to do that in the sense that this is a story that's personal. It's got personal connection to myself and my family, which you're always a little more passionate about a project when it's right in your backyard.
And Bernadette, tell us a little bit about Itri.
The last time I visited Itri was in 2013, and I completed my research. There was a missing link in my book that I just couldn't find anywhere. And so my nieces were going to Italy, and they insisted that I go with them. And I was like iffy about it, and they just came to my house one day, opened my computer, and they said, "We're pushing the button, you got your ticket." So I went and I visited one of my cousins in Rome, who was a doctor, and he had a large home in Itri, And so he called Itri and said I was here and that I'd be visiting. And everybody was just so wonderful to me. And I had one particular cousin who took me to his home. And his wife is a professor. And before I left, she handed me a book that her cousin had written, and he won many awards for writing that book. I didn't think anything of it. I just put it in my suitcase. When I came home and looked through it, it was all the answers that I needed for the book. So I emailed her and I said, would you ask him if I could use some of his material? And I said, I'll give him something in exchange, I don't know what. And there was a particular document that I found in my mother's book that she read every single day. And I had it translated. And he wanted a copy of it. So I sent him a copy of that, and that was like an exchange. So that was a missing link that I had. It was a true history that he had researched at the sanctuary, and he published it. And a lot of that material, Tom, that you read about from Giuseppe Pecchia, that's what that was all about.
That's amazing. And so you're making a documentary now. You've got a world-class director here.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know you're doing some fundraising for it.
Oh.
So tell us a little bit about that. With kind of how are you driving, or is there a website, or people can get in contact to donate?
Well, I have a website, and I also have a GoFundMe fund. Tom's been advertising it, I've been advertising it, and there are people that are behind us. But we need to raise the funds, and we need to raise awareness so that we can raise the funds. We're planning to have a couple of social events.
Great.
It's in the works, but I'm not quite sure yet.
This is a challenge. You know, this isn't the kind of movie that, it's not an action movie. It's not some, superhero film. You know, this is a movie that is kind of has a unique audience. So we're asking people to kind of be a part of this story because, you know, not every movie needs to have a car chase to be great. To have, you know, some really connective tissue that people will kind of resonate with, even if you're not from Cranston. You know, that's been my biggest thing. Like, as I write this script, you know, I've been really trying to make it so that you could show this movie to somebody in Des Moines or, you know, somewhere in the Midwest, and they know nothing about the St. Mary's Feast, and they could find it exciting for the amount of time that they watch it. So we got to get people excited about that. And like Bernadette said, the plan is just to get as many people in a room together that, you know, have an interest in getting behind this, and you know, having them donate for a little bit of art, a little bit of education, and overall entertainment. And obviously people that donate to the movie, you know, they'll be a part of this. There'll be potentially chances to be executive producers on the film and things like that, and really kind of watch this production grow from really just a stack of pages to something that we can all watch and get excited about.
You can really see in a lot of your work the passion and the focus that goes into a movie. And you're right, not everything has to be a huge blockbuster. Sometimes telling the personal story of people, the strife and everything they went through, really can tug at heartstrings. And I'm hoping as people are listening to this interview, they're hearing what's to come, and they think they want to be part of that. So what's the website where they could go to, or the GoFundMe?
www.Bernadette Conte, all lowercase, .org.
Okay. And tell us a little bit, you had some involvement with Itri Park?
Oh, I did. I produced a trailer for the city of Cranston for the Itri Park, and Franklin Paulino, who is the director of economic development, was totally behind me. I owe that man a lot. He encouraged me, he read my books, he loved them, and he says, don't give up. He says, you're going to do this. And so, thanks to Franklin, we did do that trailer.
Yeah, it's amazing what they've done. The park there, I believe they're calling it Itri Park.
Yes,
is that what they call it? Yeah, it's Mayor Ken Hopkins has really done a lot to breathe a lot of new life into that whole area of the city. So we're excited about that. I mean, listen, I was at the St. Mary's Feast just a couple months ago in July, and it just seems like it grows every year. It seems like it gets bigger and bigger. So, I mean, it really has turned into this Rhode Island summer mainstay, and we feel as though if we could just show people that, like, okay, it's a great festival, it's a great chance to listen to some live music and have a sausage and pepper sandwich, but there's so much more to it than just that and just fireworks and fun. There are a lot of people that suffered for a long time through some really great hardships to get that church off the ground and to have it become a beacon for this community that it has become. So we're excited to, not only educate but also entertain,
Right. And I'm amazed when I think back how the immigrants in their poverty, they gave from their pennies, their nickels, their dimes, and even if they had a quarter, they would give a quarter. And they built enough they collected enough to build their church, and if they could do it, we can do it.
Yes, we're inspired by them. There was really a group of, a couple dozen Italians that kind of banded together and put their money together. And then, of course, with that couple dozen grew more and more and more. But like Bernadette said, we're inspired by those Italian Americans from over 100 years ago that said, you know what, we have something that we really are passionate about and we want to make happen. Let's pool our resources and make it happen. We're hoping that there'll be some people that want to go on that road go on that journey with us.
It sounds like a great journey. I'm really excited for both of you. If there's politicians out there that are thinking about where they're going to write some checks for some of the funds that are out there, especially in Cranston, I definitely suggest you take a look at these folks, get the story out there, because I know they have some funds that they send to people. And anybody that's out there watching this, or if you know Italian immigrants, even if it's part of your family or friends, pass it on. We'd love to have you be fully funded and be able to put this out onto the film.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
guys.
Appreciate that.
We need to preserve our history.
Absolutely. We can't forget.
And if anyone watching this wants to follow along, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm updating this all the time, so follow me at Tom De Nucci on Instagram, on Facebook, and stay tuned on everything that Bernadette and I have cooking with this project.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.